Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot, and welcome to our second flight in the tailless A340-600 in Flight Simulator 2024. Today we're going to take her from Munich to Los Angeles, which is an 11-hour and 20-minute ride on this beautiful A340. Now, I'd say without any further ado, we are just gonna go right into this one and start by having a look into our flight plan. And for that, we will, as always, be simply opening the PDF file in Firefox. So, here's what it looks like. We are departing Munich towards the north and then heading out via the Netherlands, via Scotland, Iceland, Greenland and Canada down into the United States. A pretty straight route today. And having a look into the significant weather charts, the first third of the flight is pretty clear. However, we do have that little band with the number 3, which is moderate turbulence, up to level 400. So generally speaking, in the climb we're expecting some turbulence here. Thereafter, pretty clear skies. Then going over into the second third of the flight, it's going to be completely smooth. And finally, for the third of the flight, we got that number 2 when passing a jet stream over here, and that is severe turbulence all the way to level 400. So this is going to be roughly, let's say, 7 to 8 hours into the flight where things are going to get bumpy, and we will probably have to come up with seatbelt signs early in order to get our passengers seated for this section of the flight. Luckily, we are leaving that part over here and starting the last service while we are flying through this clear band until we are entering number 3, which is once again moderate turbulence during our descent. Now, looking into the airport weather, we are departing Munich in wonderful weather conditions, and Los Angeles is beautiful as well. Around it in Ontario, absolutely wonderful, and with that in mind, we can just have a look into the ETOP section, where Keflavik is excellent. Then we got Frozen Bay, which is absolutely excellent, and finally we have Winnipeg, which is also excellent, even though fairly cold, so we don't really want to go there. Now, looking into the flight plan, departing Munich at 11:20, we are going to arrive half an hour ahead of schedule in Los Angeles as Lufthansa 452. We are flying this on the A340-600, and our weights still give us a little bit of margin for extra fuel if needed. Now, starting in flight level 340, where later I'm going to step to flight level 36, and then flight level 380, and finally flight level 390 for a short while. Now, having a look into our fuel plan, we got to think about whether we need to take any extra, and down here we already have 20 minutes of contingency, so I would say we are absolutely good to go over here. Rounding this up, we get 107 tons of fuel, so that's 106 plus taxi, so 107 tons is absolutely fine for today's journey. Alright then, let's go ahead and jump in and start preparing our A340 for today's service. We will start with a couple of basics down here, which is engine master levers off, start selector norm, the weather radar is all switched off, the landing gear lever is down, wipers are off, and the battery voltage is more than 25.5 on each one of those batteries. Now from there we can go ahead and do the APU fire test, which is looking good, and then just ensure we got the radio set up, which we do, and then we can go ahead and start that APU. By the way, little thing that could use some improvement over here. The start switch, if it's pressed more than 1 second after you put the master on, it will still come on once the 3 seconds are over that it would normally take. So just a little feature there from the real airplane that could still be added. Okay, nonetheless, now that that is done, we can switch our ADIOS 1, 2 and 3 into nav mode, and then we can just head down into the ATSU. And down here we can do our flight init. While we're waiting for that to happen, let's already move down into the electronic flight bag and download our SimBrief OFP down here. And there it is, Lufthansa 452, Munich to Los Angeles. Okay, wonderful. Now that we've got this, we can also quickly collect our charts. Echo Delta Delta Mike chart, and we are looking for some taxi charts down here. Basically the airport overview is going to do the job. And then we're on runway 26 right, input to November departure. So let's go down to the SIDS and search for input to November. There it is. Okay, lovely. And that's all that we need down here on the electronic flight back at first. Then let's quickly go over our FMS. And we got an A340-600 with a Trent 556 engines. Enough database is up to date. We can delete any of the previous stuff and pilot elements are retained. That is looking wonderful. And down here we got Munich to Los Angeles as Lufthansa 452 down here as well. Okay, lovely. So with all that good stuff done, fuel has been loaded automatically according to the SimBrief data. Let's just go into the weight and balance and ensure that this is correctly set, which it is. 107 tons of fueling, and you can just do a real-time refueling for that a little bit here. So that should start on automatically, I think. Well, we'll see about it. Now let's go for the takeoff performance. We've got Munich, runway 26 right. That's a small headwind there. Let's go ahead and calculate with 247 tons just to be on the safe side here. The rest is all looking good. Compute and stop margin 413 meters, and that data is looking fantastic. Okay, lovely. So the EFB part of the setup is done. Then let's move down here and do a recall. Refueling is finished as well now. That's perfect. And then we can check the oxygen to be good. The hydraulics are all good. And for the engines, I am just going to cheat down here. Oil quantity is full. I love it. Okay, nice. So all that stuff is done. The APU is available. APU bleed is coming on, and the flaps are up. The spoilers are retracted. Then we can release that parking brake and do the alternate brake test, and that's looking fantastic. And the parking brake is set again. Okay, lovely. So we're done with all of our setup. So let's go ahead and start setting our plane up for the flight. And just while we're on it, I am just going to go into the ground services here. And, well, everything's controlled automatically right now. Okay, that's fine. That is completely fine. Then we are just going to keep it that way. Okay, good. Then we can start with our cockpit preparation procedures. So you come on, you're going to captain only, and the rest is set. Couple of lights coming on, seat belts, no smoking sign, emergency exit. Up here everything's done. This is looking good, and the right hand side is looking good. Going down to the main panel then, got a QNH of 1017, and that matches with the field elevation 15th of March 26. For some reason the clock mode selector is not simulated. That should of course be on GPS down there, and the right hand side is set. Frequencies 1228, 1215, all selected, all looking good. GCS should be auto, multiscan auto. Tilt should be somewhere up here. Well, probably somewhere here. We got multiscan on anyway. With that, the weather radar is looking good. TCAS above, and then we can go down into the FMS. So let's get that SimBrief flight plan. Here we go. And then we can start working on this. So, Munich to Los Angeles, alternate. Why is it chosen Las Vegas? We've chosen Ontario, haven't we? Yep, Ontario. Okay, well that's a bug. So it's chosen the wrong alternate. So here we go, Ontario's in there. Lufthansa 452, 281 passengers. Well, probably going to be correct. We'll see about it at the end of the day when we have the load sheet. Cost index 30 is correct. Flight total 340. So ground temperature down here is 5 degrees. And then let's go ahead and select our departure. Runway 26 right. Input to November departure. There it is. And insert. And then for the arrival into Los Angeles, we plan the ILS approach runway 25 left for the time being, with the Angel 4 arrival coming from Hawkman, like that. And we got the Circus transition. And something that I like about the toeless Airbus is that it automatically selects the transition when one is available from the end of the star, and that is exactly what the real Airbus is doing as well. So we can accept this. Then let's go to the secondary, copy active, and we got the MUC X4 waypoint, which we can insert up there, EDDM26 right /260/25, and we can insert that PBD point and store. Alright, and we can insert that into the holding as well, 260 right hand turn. Okay, immediate return back to Munich, and then let's insert the arrival with an ILS approach runway 28 right and insert. Okay, and this is all looking fantastic. So, flight plan page, fix info, we got EDDM26 right and 260, and finally MUC X4. Like that. So, data, let's see if we can save the route this time. Nope, not working. Here you can see that is bugged. Okay, init B page. Let's go ahead and insert some stuff over here. What the heck? What is that uplink there? Okay, there's a lot of wrong stuff on this one. Starting with the taxi fuel 0.8, then the contingency is 2.9, then the alternate fuel is 3.1, and the final reserve is 4. Here we go, 1.4 tons, 10 minutes extra. That's looking better, isn't it? And finally, going up here, zero fuel weight 238.6, and the CG is unknown for the time being, so I'll just do it that way, and 107 tons of fuel. Okay, now let's go for the takeoff page. Flaps 2. And we have a flex temperature of 51 and the speeds 65, 74, 79. Okay, thrust reduction and acceleration 2500 and 2500 and 3000. Okay, lovely. Now I would insert the climb D-rate as well, but Tolis doesn't simulate it. Cruising in 340, optional 319, and that's all good. Then let's go to the step climbs and cross-check that everything in there is correct. So we got flight level 360 at 40 west, we have that. Flight level 380 at 100 west, that's missing. Okay, I tell you what, I am going to delete those. So 360 is correct. And let's find the 100 west point. That's N54W100. So 380/N54W100. Like that. Then we got flight level 390 at Weinen. I'll tell you what, that's just for 6 minutes. Okay, no, we're going to stay in 380 then. Okay, and that's all looking fantastic. Then let's cross-check our standard instrument departure. So, constraints, plan mode, here we go. So we'll go straight at Delta Mike 066, maximum to 20. And we've got that. Then it's going to be a right-hand turn, Delta Mike 064. Delta Mike 065, maximum 250, and then towards input, and we've got all of that. Okay, QNH should be 1017, initial climb, flight level 70, and you get the constraints, and 1017 as well. Okay, lovely. So, IRS aligned 0 minutes. Is it waiting for anything? No, should be on GPS position. I guess it's going to be ready any moment. Or are we just too quick? Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, good. Then we are good to go. So let's go ahead and talk about our departure briefing, please. So we're departing Munich, runway 26 right, input 2 November, departure initial 70, MSA 3700, and extra fuel, and time today is 2.4 tons, giving us 16 minutes. No hotspots for our taxi out, and the stop margin for the RTO is 413 meters. In Okay, so we continue straight at 25 miles to pick up the holding over there. And if we need to make an immediate return, we are above the maximum landing weight. And I actually just quickly want to calculate this, just to see what we are going to get if I wanted to return immediately. So we got Munich's runway 26 right. We'll take all those figures. And as you can see, we can easily land over here. Easily. 3,041 meters required. Okay, so an immediate return is absolutely possible, but if we have time available, then we enter the holding, work all the procedures. If we've got no time available, then we can make an immediate return as necessary. In terms of specials, I got one thing, and that is our green dot speed, which is an exceedance of 250 knots, so we will have to talk to air traffic control to get permission to exceed the 250. And apart from that, I have nothing special, I've got nothing non-standard, and I don't see any threats for today's departure. Anything from your side? No? Lovely, then that's our departure briefing complete. So, cockpit preparation checklist please. Gearpins and covers, removed. Fuel quantity, 106,920 kilos, balanced. Seatbelts on, 8 ears. Nav and power ref QNH 1017. And that's the cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright, let's say hello to our guests. Liebe Fluggäste, einen schönen guten Tag aus dem Cockpit, hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel und im Namen der deutschen Lufthansa darf ich Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unseres Airbus A340-600 auf unserem Flug nach Los Angeles willkommen heißen. Flugzeit heute wurde mit ca. 11 Stunden und 20 Minuten berechnet. Wir erwarten einen ruhigen Flug in einer Höhe von anfänglich 34.000 Fuß, später dann bis 38.000 Fuß. Lehnen Sie sich jetzt zurück und machen Sie es sich bei uns an Bord gemütlich. Wir melden uns dann mit dem neuesten Wetter, wenn wir den Anflug Richtung Los Angeles starten, und wünschen Ihnen jetzt erstmal einen schönen Aufenthalt bei uns an Bord. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel, and in the name of Lufthansa, I would like to welcome you all on board of our Airbus A340-600 on our flight to Los Angeles. We will be ready to go in just a couple of minutes, and we are expecting a smooth flight at an altitude of initially 34, later on up to 38,000 feet today. We do expect a mostly smooth flight with maybe a little bit of turbulence in the climb and in the descent, so please do keep your seatbelt fastened, even if the fasten seatbelt sign is switched off. Thank you very much for being our guests. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew members. And in the meantime, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Ground from cockpit. So you can disconnect all the ground equipment, and we'll be ready to go in just a few moments. Roger that. Confirm the brake is set. Yes, the parking brake is set. Roger that. Okay, so for our weight and balance, zero fuel weight is 238.6. And we got 238.6, and the CG is at 24.7. Like that. Takeoff weight 344.8, CG 28.2, and we got 344.8 and 28.1. That's close enough. Then we can keep 340. Well, 346 is gonna be fine. Might as well keep 347, no big difference. Trim 2.7 up. And here we go. That's all our figures completed. Okay then, let's call for pushback. Munich April Lufthansa 452 heavy request pushback. And pushback approved facing north Lufthansa 452 heavy. Before start checklist. So park and brake. Set, takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 165, VR 174, V2 179, flex 51. And windows closed, beacon on, before start checklist complete. Ground from cockpit. So, we are cleared for push and start. Facing north, parking brake is set. Roger, release parking brake. Parking brake released. Roger, stand the pushback and stand by for engines. Standing by. Okay, my friends, and here we go. I'd say that was a pretty quick pre-flight. 20 minutes and we are already on the go. Alright then, I'd say we are good to go. We are behind the red line, so let's go ahead and commence our engine startup. Sequence is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll start with engines 1 and 2 now. So let's watch it in detail from the flight deck this time. Engine 1 start. Here's 10%, engine 2 start. I love how quick the engine start is on the A340 compared to the A340-600, for example. That's just a heck lot more efficient. Alright, and there's pretty much 2 good engine starts. Here we go. 1 and 2. Alright, starting 3. Here's 10%, starting 4. Fantastic. It's just so much faster than it is on the 340-300. I like that a lot. And the pushback is completed. Park and brake is set. Here we go, motoring in progress. Fuel is coming. Little delay between the fuel injection and the continuing engine start. Which is something that I've always wondered how that can happen. Like, you would think that the fuel would ignite immediately, but the same thing happens on the A330 as well. So, probably a feature, not a bug. Alright, number 3 is available, and number 4 is available. Okay, ground, you're clear to disconnect. Show me the pin on the right hand side, please, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. So, there's a lifter. And that's a clear signal. After start checklist. Anti-ice, off, ECAM status, checked, pitch trim, 28.2%, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist complete. So, flight control track. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. And neutral. Okay, clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Park and brake is off. Let's go. So look at that, the plane does start rolling. Very slowly, but it does start, even at these high gross weights. And that's exactly correct behavior. We can help it a little bit, just to convince it to gain some speed. And brake check. Pressure 0. Okay, straight out and then off to the right to runway 26 right. We're on the apron here, so we are going to limit the speed to a maximum of 15 knots. Then let's also go ahead and get those taxi cameras on. Even though they don't really show much, but better have them than need them. And with that, we are on our way to Los Angeles. So look at that. Even at 345 tons, we're nicely maintaining our speed with the engines in idle. That's how I like it. So everything's clear on the left side and on the right side. So 10 knots going into the turn. The left side is clear, the right side is clear. Unfortunately, the taxi cam doesn't give us too much of a hint as to when we should start the turn, but we can still do that stuff visually, huh? As nice as technology is, you should still be able to do a little bit of piloting yourself. But it's quite amazing how much of an oversteering you have to use on the A340-600. Like, when you recall our entry into the turn, our flight deck was pretty much on the edge line of the taxiway. Okay then, I have no changes to the departure briefing. Anything from you? Nope. Alright. Okay, taxi checklist. Flight controls, checked. Flap setting, config 2, radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto. Then, engine start selector, norm, and ecam memo, takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist complete. This is so much easier in the real world when you just have the EFB right next to you, so that you can simply click on it and straight away have an input without having to look around all the time. I could imagine this to be quite nice in virtual reality though. Has any one of you guys tried it yet? Do put it in the comments, I'd be really interested. So to review the most important part of our briefing, the standard sit straight ahead right turnout. Our clean speed is above 250, so we gotta ask ATC for permission to actually speed up. And we've got nothing abnormal over here. If we do return, 26 right and 26 left are available and long enough even without fuel dumping. Okay, questions? Nope. Very good. And we haven't actually calculated any intersection, so let's take Alpha 14. I love how easy it is to control the aircraft precisely with the brakes. That's something that I find really difficult in many add-ons, but Tollers have really nailed the brakes. Alright, cabin crew, prepare for departure. Okay, and you two go off as well. Lineup checklist, takeoff runway, 26 right, full length, TCAS, Tara, PEX 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete. Yep, that should have been approaching runway 26 right, but I'm completely honest, I had RAS disabled from a previous recording, forgot to re-enable it, so I just did that on the fly here. Okay, are you ready?
On runway 26 right.
Takeoff. Manflex 5-1, SRS, runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. .100 knots, checked. Man, you do feel the weight of that plane. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Look at that, an Airbus that needs a correct rotation angle. Haven't seen that in a while in the sim. Tola's really got that part of the flight model right down. Fantastic. Thrust climb, climb auto thrust. Right, flaps 1. Or actually, no. We're gonna keep him in 2. Too used to the A330, where the airspeed is rather low. Should have automatic flap retraction, shouldn't it? Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, pull speed 210. Okay, manage speed and flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1. Okay, so climb flight level 190, and that's 19,000 blue. So this would be the moment where we would ask ATC if we can speed up a little further, and also engine anti-ice on. Now let's just say that they're approving 260 knots here. So pull speed to 60. And flaps 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. So set start knot. Start cross check, passing flight level 58 now. Checked. Alright. Autopilot 1. From now it's gonna be a long straight line. And now that we've done all of this, we are nicely on our way towards Los Angeles. So let's go ahead and do a couple of items here while we're on our way out. that we'd have to do later on anyway. Oh, what's that? Severe ice detected. Okay, ECAM actions. Engine start selector ignition, engine start selector ignition, wing anti-ice on, anti-ice, wing on. ECAM actions complete. Alright, might as well just keep it on for a little bit. I do have a feeling that it's a little overly sensitive. Like, I've seen severe ice detected in almost 3 years on the A330 now. I think once, maybe twice. So yeah, I do think it is a little overly sensitive, but hey. We got it, it doesn't cost us, so might as well use it, should we? Alright, now let's have a look down here. Arriving at 23:03. And the schedule is 23:15. Perfect. So we are right on time. Then let's go ahead and start programming a couple of ETOPS waypoints here. At least once we're above level 100. And yeah, here we go. Approaching 100. And passing 100. Managed speed. So, seatbelts auto. Airports, airports, and clear and copy, please. So we got the cruise of level of 340, optimum 322, maximum 360. I think that is looking fantastic. So, Los Angeles 25 right, can already go into there, 5,168.5 miles to go. Then let's quickly go ahead and program our ETOPS points. So we got the EEP number 1. That thing's located at 6600.5 north and 4017.1 west. For those of you watching this later, the format is currently not exactly correct. It should be N and W first and then the numbers, but unfortunately this is the way how TOL is implemented in the version 1.0 of the MSFS release. So 6604.7 north and 4556.7 west. Save. Then we got the next one, Yankee Fox Bravo, Yankee Whiskey Golf, and that's gonna be at 5928.1 and 9004.6 west, like that. And finally we got the ETOPS exit point, which is at 5725.2 and 9441.4 west, like this. Alright, that is easy. Then let's insert that stuff into the fix info page. So we got EEP number 1, we got Keflavik Yankee Fox Bravo, then we got Yankee Fox Bravo Yankee Whiskey Golf, and finally the ETOPS exit point number 1. Okay, lovely. For the time being, that is all we need down here. So yeah, ice not detected. Then let's go ahead and switch it back off again. Here we go. Might as well quickly request the weather for all those airports. So, what do we have here? We need Bravo, India, Kilo, Foxtrot, then Charlie, Yankee, Fox, Bravo, and Charlie, Yankee, Whiskey, Golf. Alright, forecast for all of those. So, here's a bit of stuff coming in. When you do a forecast request, you always get the ATIS, the METAR, and the TAF. So, that's realistic over here. Let's go ahead and get started. So we start down here. Interesting, it's given us our destination and stuff as well. Should not have done that. But let's just click them all away. So Starting in Keflavik, weather is actually quite beautiful. And the forecast for Keflavik is still quite alright as well. Then we got Frozen Bay, and that's, yep, definitely a Frozen Bay today, -26. Beautiful weather though. And the forecast stays good as well. And then we got Winnipeg, which is also freaking cold, but also freaking good. So, that's all looking fantastic. We can definitely fly like this. Well guys, then let's continue that climb to flight level 340. And for now, I'd say sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. By the way, let's just take a little shortcut, shall we? Fly direct to Gaska. So, Gaska direct, insert. Here we go. Okay then guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and I see you all when we start our approach into Los Angeles. Hello there, I hope you enjoyed the flight so far. We are now starting to set ourselves up for the approach into Los Angeles. Top of descent is around 100 miles away, so I'd say we've reached a very good point over here. So let's go ahead and start by requesting the latest destination ATIS, as that is basically always the basis for any setup we can do. And looks like ATIS is not available. Okay, then we are gonna go for the standard weather over here. We don't need any of that stuff any longer. Should have cleared itself automatically, by the way. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get our standard airport weather down there. So, META, Los Angeles, that's the one we need. 230 at 4, 10 miles, few 600, scattered 200, well, flight level 200, 163001. Okay, we can definitely work with that. Here we go, 3001, then let's set the same on that side, first of all, like here, and then we can switch over to autopilot 2, and then set it on our side. Here we go, and back to autopilot 1, like that. Very good, so let's go ahead and do some landing performance calculations here. We are flying to Los Angeles now. So here's clacks, runway 25 left. The weather is updated automatically and looking good. Then let's have a look. We land at 13.6. Well, let's do it easy. Secondary, copy active. Where's the sec in it? That's another bug over here. Normally if you go to the secondary initialization and then page 2, it leads you to a page quite similar to the init-B page, but it actually tells you your landing weight based on current data in the real Airbus. Looks like Tolis hadn't implemented that. So EFOP is 13.6, that means we basically burn 2,000 kilos. So we're looking at 252, well let's calculate 253, and that's it. So landing weight 253.0. Landing config, full air conditioning on, pilot V up, reversers, yes, that's all looking good. Stop margin, about 950 meters, 2000 meters required, that looks okay. Let's go ahead and have a look at our arrival charts then. We are looking for clacks. Enter, star will be the Angel 4 arrival. Then our approach. By the way, why doesn't it clear the recent charts down here? Yeah, that's looking better. So, Angel 4 arrival, then for the approach, it's an ILS approach 25 left. Why is it not adding that to the recent charts? Oh god, bug. Okay, in any case, we're pretty much coming in straight from Circus, like this, and then we are going to head all the way down. Missed approach, straight ahead. Left turn on the 195 radial outbound from Santa Monica in Monte Carlo. Climbing 2,000, I believe? Yeah, 2,000. Okay, easy going. Well then, let's go ahead and have a quick look through that arrival. I'm basically just checking that everything is here right now. In the real world, we would of course compare every... Why is there... What's that ETP doing there? Bug. Okay, well, you get where I'm going with this. Starting the approach, 1900, 3-degree glide slope from Gigit, and down here, Gigit is the FAF. And the 3 degrees are confirmed. MSA 2800. And then the missed approach, Santa Monica radial 160, intercept 195 to Catley, climbing 2000. That's all looking correct. Okay, the RATMAP page is clear and can stay clear, and we'll need Los Angeles 25 left in here. Like this, and then for a descent, we'll take 0.81/300. Approach page 30.01, 17 degrees, and 230 at 4. So minimum, what do we have here? 304. Config full most definitely, and 2000 feet engine out acceleration altitude. And standard missed approach is going to be 1000 and 1000. Extra fuel 24 minutes, secondary, copy active, and then we are going to insert runway 24 right in there. Just in case we do happen to get the other runway, and that's looking good. Insert and secondary performance, that's still copied. Then let's go to the secondary approach page, 24 right, and that's got a minimum of 322. Okay, the rest is all looking fantastic. Then we've calculated auto brakes low like that. And then we can start the approach briefing. So this will be an Angel 4 arrival in Los Angeles, MSA 2,800 feet, ILS approach either 25 left or 24 right. Minimum on 25 left is 304, minimum on 25 right is 322, and the go around straight at left turn out radial 165. 165? No. The radial outbound from Santa Monica to Circus climbing. Wait a second. To Catley climbing 2000, and it's the radial 195. Okay, extra fuel time, we've got 24 minutes. Now that means that for the approach we are going to fly it initially fully managed, then eventually flat director guidance onto the ILS, flaps full auto brake low, maximum reverse, stop margin 950 meters. Vacate the runway to the right hand side and one hotspot for a taxi, in which is a crossing of runway 25 right. Apart from that, I've got nothing special, I've got nothing non-standard, and I do not see any threats for the arrival. And that's it. Any questions? Nope. Beautiful. So that's our approach briefing completed. Then let me talk to the passengers. Liebe Fluggäste aus dem Cockpit, ein kleines Update. Wir werden in Kürze unseren Sinkflug in Richtung Los Angeles beginnen. Die verbleibende Flugzeit jetzt noch circa eine halbe Stunde. Das Wetter in Los Angeles ist schön, 17 Grad bei einem leicht bewölkten Himmel. Wir bedanken uns ganz herzlich, dass Sie heute unsere Gäste waren, wünschen Ihnen einen schönen Aufenthalt und gegebenenfalls eine gute und sichere Weiterreise und würden uns freuen, Sie bald wieder an Bord eines unserer Flugzeuge begrüßen zu dürfen. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, your captain with a quick update on our flight progress. We will start our descent towards Los Angeles soon, and we've got a remaining flight time of approximately half an hour. The weather in Los Angeles is currently 17 degrees centigrade, and for the winds, light winds from the west with a few clouds. Thank you very much for choosing Fly Lufthansa today. We hope you enjoyed your stay on board our Airbus A340-600, and we look forward to welcoming you again on board a future service. Thank you very much for your attention, and we wish you a pleasant onward journey. Okay, my friends, and that's pretty much all that we can present for now, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the descent, and then I'll see you all when we start the approach into Los Angeles. Okay, my friends, we're arriving down here, and a couple of interesting things over here. First of all, let's make sure we keep descending. Let's go down to 5,000. But did you notice what our airspeed has been doing on the way down? There were quite a couple of jumps here when it transitioned between different speeds, and the one that especially caught my attention was the one where it jumped from 250 knots back to 270 knots as a target, as that is something that you don't usually see on arrival. Right now it's down at 220, and it's actually activated the approach phase, which doesn't seem to make too much sense to me. So let's just go ahead and cross-check that on the chart, because there is no speed restriction over here that would justify activation of the approach phase at this point. That should happen like 15 miles out. So yeah, definitely another bug involved. So what I'm gonna do is go select the 250 and show that we keep descending over here, and that way we can simply catch our path again, and then we'll just have to do manual speed reduction with the speed brakes a little bit further down. But definitely some bugs involved with the VNAV over here. Alright, in any case, we are below 10,000, so we got the lights, signs, constraints, LS, and we do have GPS primary with a high accuracy, and the engine start selector is in norm. Cabin crew, prepare for landing. Okay then, so far so good. Let's go ahead and read the approach checklist, please. Baro ref, QNH 3001. Seatbelts on minimum, MDA 304. Auto brake, low, engine start selector, norm, approach checklist complete. So unfortunately it does look a little cloudy up here. Can't do much about it. But here's a question for you guys. We're supposed to arrive here at 22:44. It's now 21:16. 11 hours and 5. What's going on with that time? Did we depart an hour too early? Did we depart at 10:20 rather than 11:20? Maybe go back on the video and check, because it just looks a little strange to me that we are that early. Alright then. At this point, Los Angeles, that's the one thing I do like about this airport. You just fly straight in. Very long final. Not all that much to do. Now rest assured, when it's clear skies, this is even more beautiful, but hey, ain't gonna complain about that, are we? So let's go down to 3000, and from there we are gonna start that approach. Right, 10 knots tailwind, 20 miles out, manage speeds. Then let's help it a bit here with that speed brake. Here we go. When you pull the speed brake on a wide body Airbus, always pay good attention to the VLS band, as that is really gonna start coming up there. And we are cleared for the approach. So, Protrompt, lock, Cat 1, autopilot 1 and 2, glass look blue. Why is it on Cat 1? It should be on Cat 3. Speed, glass loop star. Go around altitude 2000 sat. Here we go, Cat 3 dual. That came pretty late. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Might have to help it a bit more here. Full speed brake. Now this is typical wide-body Airbus. Very hard to get the speed under control if you're fast at some point on the 3-degree glide. So let's have in mind VLO equals VLE, so landing gear operation speed equals the landing gear extended maximum speeds. That's 250 knots, so we could drop the gear if we need to. Now here's a question for you guys. When looking at videos of the A340-600 approaching on the internet, the difference between the green dot speed and the S speed seems to be about 20 knots. And this one, it's about 10 knots. Is that correct, or should it be 20? If any of you has some hard data on that, do let me know in the comments below. Flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. If we do assume that the S speed is 10 knots too high, that may at least explain why we're getting that close to VFE next. Alright, 9 knots out, still got a little bit of tailwind here, gear down. We'll keep the speed brake extended for a little longer over here, just to ensure that we are actually losing all that speed, but this is looking quite good now.
2,500.
Checked, flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps 3. Alright, now we're slowing down nicely. Very good. Flaps full. Speed checked. Flaps full.
2,000.
Spoilers in and armed. Landing checklist. Econ memo. Landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. Alright, nice. So this is all looking quite good. Then let's go ahead and take over manually. Still have that 6 knot tailwind there. It's probably going to come down in the very short final. 220 at 4. Yeah, it's going to turn on short final, that's fine. That auto thrust limited comes a little early. Like every time you disengage auto thrust. Shouldn't happen like that. It should give you a little time delay, so that you don't get the ECAM on a normal or a thrust disconnect sequence. Alright, let's focus on the landing.
Approaching 25 left.
Checked. Land.
300.
Checked.
200. Minimum.
Continue. So let's make it a good one.
50,
Oh.
40, 30, 20, restart, 10, 5.
Why did we touch down on the 5 call? Spoilers, reverse green, decel. knots. Manual brakes.
500 meters remaining.
Okay, we'll take the rapid exit taxiway over there. And with that, welcome to Los Angeles. I have a feeling that the radio altimeter may be a little off, because we definitely shouldn't touch down on the 5 call. Okay, we're gonna cross the runway over here, and once we have crossed, then we can clean up. But as usual, getting clear of the runway system has priority here. Alright, we'll be parking right over here, so it's going to be a fairly short taxi in. Let's try to get her onto some straight taxiway here for a bit. It's just amazing how much oversteering you need on this plane. I mean, look at this. It's really quite impressive, isn't it? Okay, so that's that. Then let's go ahead and fire up that APU. After landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete. So we'll be parking over there. Can we find the gate number for that, please? No, we can't. Okay. So this is 152, then the next is 150. Okay. Alright, lights off. Look at that taxi cam. Is there another airplane on our stand on the taxi cam? Okay, disregard the taxi cam. We'll just be looking outside then. And what do we have here? Guidance system fail. Stop. Okay. Stopping here. Ah, lovely. Okay. Let's see if we can reset this. In the real world we'd be... Uh-huh. That may be better. Can we request a marshaller over here? Follow me, progressive. Okay, just revoke that for now. Let's try and reattach them. Oh, gate 150 is in there, okay. Well, then the guidance system is really broken. So we'll be taxiing forward. Does it say A340-600 anywhere there? I mean, it has to be at the very front. So we'll just be taxiing forward to that bar alpha over there. This is where the taxi cam would be really handy now. But just draw a virtual line to the side there. And then remember that the nose gear is a little bit behind you. That way you can also park yourself if you've got no guidance system available. It should be somewhere like here-ish. Okay. Park and brake set. APU bleed on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, engines are running down. That's all looking good. So, baking off. Request deboarding, please. And doors are disarmed. All right. And parking checklist. Park and brake our trucks. Brake set. Engines off. Fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. Well then. Transponder is going off. Let's see. Fuel. We used 94.2 and we were supposed to use... 96 plus taxi, 97 almost. So we saved 3 tons of fuel. I wonder how we did that. But, hey, ain't gonna care, huh? We saved it. Alright then guys, with that, welcome to Los Angeles. I do hope you enjoyed the flight as well. Let's turn that ADRs off. Crew supply off, we're gonna keep the lights on while deboarding is in progress, and, well, we don't have external power here. So, that's everything I can offer you for the time being. Thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, look at that, we could even have taxied a little bit further there. In any case, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I'd appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.